Viking Expeditions, a cruisinwithted.com production.
And we are here to talk about Viking Expedition Cruises. And we have Shannon Tiger, Director of Business Development for Viking Cruises, with us today. Okay, and we want to let you know that you have the opportunity to ask questions via the chat window. I believe it's Alt-H, or you can see the chat window above. So if you click on the chat window, if you want to talk to us, because we couldn't have everybody talking at one time. Otherwise, it would be like one of my family reunions where everybody talks over each other. So, but generally what we do is we allow you to ask questions via the chat window, and Shannon's going to keep track of that and try to answer them either during the presentation or at the end. So she's going to cover Viking Expeditions, and at the end, I'll cover a little bit about some of the things that we can do here at Cruisin with Ted, okay? Thank you so much. So I am going to turn it over to Shannon. Just give me a minute. Okay, Shannon, go ahead.
Okay, great. Excellent. I am going to just start sharing my screen here in a minute.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you, Ted, so much for allowing Viking and myself to be here. I feel honored to be here, and what a wonderful turnout. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We are talking about something so incredibly exciting tonight. There is a very wide world of Viking out there, but today we are going to be talking about Viking Expeditions, and we just had what we like to call in the industry our shakedown cruise, which is essentially our inaugural sailing. It's kind of where we dip our toe in the water, make sure everything's moving very seamlessly. There's no issues with the ship or the crew or anything, and we go through the entire experience. That just happened a few weeks ago. I personally wasn't on it, but my boss was, and she was sending us notes every day, pictures, videos of things she was experiencing, and it was really, really spectacular. So I think you all are going to be in for a really nice treat tonight. So we try not to put a lot of video here on Zoom because it gets a little wonky. So unfortunately, you won't be seeing some video, but Ted can direct you to spots on our website where there's video, and that really brings the experience to life. So I highly recommend you take a look at some of the footage for our brand new Octantis, which is now sailing currently in Antarctica. And I am very excited once again to be here. So please feel free to ask your questions, like Ted said, via the chat feature, and I likely will address them at the end. If someone asks something and I can see it and I can answer it, I will. But if I don't answer your question, trust me, we will go through them all at the end. So I am going to start screen sharing. Ted, you and your team have been such an amazing partner of Viking. Ted is clearly, I think he may know the product a little better than myself. So he's a great resource for you all. And I will tell you that now more than ever, especially when doing expeditions, there's a lot of stuff that you have to prepare for before you go. There's a lot of things that you want to make sure you don't miss on such a once in a lifetime itinerary. So working with Ted and his team is really crucial. We really rely on our travel agency partners to help us make this a success for our guests. So once again, thank you all for being here. So before I go into expedition, I always like to just do a quick reminder of the world of Viking, because Ted has sold some expedition, but really has been a great seller of Viking with all of our travel experiences, which would be our Viking Ocean, Viking River, that's where we started. We like to believe we put river cruising on the map in 1997 when we began cruising the rivers of Russia. And our ocean ships cruising all of the continents, and then our new Mississippi, which I know Ted is really excited about, and we'll be doing a presentation specifically on Mississippi for you all. So hopefully you'll join him on that. And then last but not least, in this very far left, right-hand corner of your screen, you see our Viking Expedition ship. And they all take on a little unique look and feel, but I will tell you the one thing that every ship here that's pictured that they all have in common is small ship cruising. So you may have experienced small ship cruising before, or maybe you haven't. It is really phenomenal. For those of you that are new to small ship cruising, I would like to say that some of the unique attributes of cruising on a smaller ship would be just simply the experience while you're on board. You don't have a lot of the chaos, the hustle and the bustle. It's a very calm, relaxing experience. There's not a lot of lines, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's really nice because these smaller ships are able to get into ports that larger ships can't. So oftentimes you'll find yourself docked right there in the heart of a destination, instead of going to a larger cruise terminal and then shuttling into the city. So there's lots of really wonderful things about small ship cruising, and all of our ships here, that's what we offer. We like to say we're the leaders in small ship cruising. Our river ships are 190 passengers on the rivers of Europe. Our Mississippi vessels, under 400 passengers. Expedition is under 400 passengers. And then our ocean ships under 1,000. So we like to brag a little on this slide to say we're cruising more waters than any other cruise line. So any experience that you're looking for, Ted could advise you on it and really set you up with the trip of a lifetime. Now, I'm going to take a quick minute and show you something here. If you look in the lower corner here, we have the 5 Great Lakes. You may not have known this, but this expedition ship that I'm going to show you today, that we're going to go through image by image on, is going to be sailing the Great Lakes in the late spring throughout the summer season. So Ted said earlier that he's going to be also doing an exclusive presentation on the Great Lakes. So I just wanted to plant that seed, because when you see how beautiful this ship is, as well as the sister ship, the Polaris, that's coming out, you will realize that this is clearly a wonderful way to travel the Great Lakes as well. So you have lots and lots of opportunities for sure here with Viking, and we're really, really excited to certainly bring them to you. So without further ado, is everybody ready here to see and learn a little bit more about our expedition experience? I hope so, because that's how we're going to be spending the rest of our time. Okay, so let's take a moment here. I'm actually going to take myself off video just because I want you to be able to focus on the pictures and not my talking head. And let's talk a little bit about our mission. So one of the things that we have done here at Viking is we have basically took our philosophy, which is sailing whatever experience that we just were looking at, in the way that it really relates to the thinking person. So it's something that we're super excited about, because when we think about our philosophy, we want you to come on board and we want you to really be immersed in the destination. We want to make sure that you have every aspect of that destination really at your fingertips. So you're going to be learning about the history, the culture, the arts. In this case, you're going to be learning and seeing some of this magnificent wildlife in this unspoiled region. And it is so special. And we really gear everything, our lecturers on board, our research scientists on board, everything really is geared to bring you knowledge. So what we have done with our expedition product, our ship is a little larger from those that sail this pristine area of the world we live in. But by it being a little bit larger, one of the things we're able to offer is a very luxurious experience on board, which is, something that we pride ourselves on, and also giving you lots of different opportunities on board, which you're going to see in a moment. So we took all of these years of our expertise in small ship cruising really to create the perfect expedition cruise for you. So the result of all this is 2 purpose-built ships. They're optimally sized for expeditions. They're small enough to navigate remote areas, yet they're large enough to really provide speed and superior handling and stability in some of the roughest seas, which would be the Drake Passage, which you have to go through to get to Antarctica. So some feedback was how well our vessel took the Drake Passage. So that's something that you can really be excited about when you travel on Viking to Antarctica. So basically what we do is we take our comfort, which is we like to travel the world in comfort, our Viking philosophy and exploration, and we put it together in this really unprecedented way. The size is so optimized that it also facilitates a lot of enrichment activities that happen on board while you're listening to these lectures and some spaces that we have on board, but also we have the ability to carry a fleet of zodiacs, ribs, kayaks, submarines. So it really provides such an outstanding experience where you're not really missing anything. You'll also have the opportunity to really learn a lot about photography and practicing photography on board, which is really neat. And we have, I think, some of the best viewing opportunities on board our vessel. So you will see the floor to ceiling windows, this really straight line Scandinavian design on board in a moment that really helps create such a fabulous environment for you. The landscape in this region, folks, is on such a grand scale. So having the floor to ceiling windows and having this really modern expedition ship in this region is really quite spectacular to be able to be on the ship and be able to take in the views that are all around you. So we want you to be able to explore a lot. And so on board your expedition vessel, it will also function as a classroom. So you're going to be able to learn all about the destination. And that's going to cause folks a really enhanced experience for you. So we have a lot of really special spaces on board where you're able to not just have a wonderful experience while you're on shore and you're doing your landings, but you're also going to have a wonderful experience on board. And I hope if there's one thing that resonates with you here is we were on the call with our operations team who's heading up our expedition program. And the gentleman said, it's interesting because you can virtually never get off this ship and have an amazing expedition experience on board Vikings, Octantis, and Polaris to come. And I was like, well, how is that possible? There's no way that not leaving the ship would give you a wonderful experience. And my boss, she came back and she said, well, you really didn't have to leave the ship if you didn't want to, because there's so much that you're seeing from on board, but also all of the scientific experiments that you're learning about and all of the enrichment that takes place on board really does give you a full circle experience. So if there's anybody who's like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to go on expedition because I'm not sure if I definitely don't want to kayak. I'm not even sure I want to get into a Zodiac. I will tell you that this is the third time I actually heard that it's a wonderful experience. So if you and your mate have different things that you want to experience out of an expedition, no problem. Viking has technology in place to help you do that. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. But every journey in itself is accompanied with a team of 25 experts, including our Viking expedition team, our resident scientists, and they all range from biologists, botanists, geologists, glaciologists, oceanographers, ornithologists, polar experts. So you really truly are with a ship that's under 400 passengers surrounded by these experts at all times. And the scientists actually work on and in our onboard laboratory. So we also, in addition to that, give you an opportunity to be able to participate in some scientific research that is actually taking place and is legitimate research. So we've partnered with really some fantastic exclusive scientific partnerships We will have exclusive partnerships with the University of Cambridge Scott Polar Research Institute, whose scientists will undertake field work on board our expedition ships and join our voyages to share all their expertise with you, our guests. We also have partnered with the globally recognized Cornell Lab of Ornithology, whose ornithologists will regularly be on board as well, be doing field testing, observing new methods, and providing also a lot of advice to you on how to interact with this region and immerse yourself in the region. We also have partnered with NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which also is with the American Scientific Agency of the United States Department of Commerce. So those folks will actually focus on the conditions of the oceans. Oceans, major waterways, the atmosphere. And on both of our ships, we actually have built, folks, weather balloon stations that are on board where we'll release weather balloons into the atmosphere, and you actually will be essential to participating in that and essentially be participating in global weather prediction. So how neat is that? So your Viking expedition really is going to offer you so many interesting things on board, but we also will have a variety of excursions that you can experience the destination. And I really want to stress this with you all in the way that it interests you. Viking has put technology in place, which is an app, and also lots of questionnaires and things that we want to know about you before you even go. And we will actually place you in what I like to call a pod of a certain amount of people, and they're all like-minded travelers to yourself. Now you can hop in and out if you need to, or if you want to join your spouse or somebody you met on board, there's ways to do that. So I don't want you to think that you're stuck in this pod, but I do want you to know what's really neat about this experience and technology is that you will be with people that are going at the same pace that you are. And I think for me, especially, that is really neat because we all do, whether it's walking on the cobblestone streets of Europe or whether it's here in Antarctica, one of the most remote regions of the world, right? We actually all do travel at different paces. So we have really been thoughtful and mindful of that and created such amazing technology for you so that you can really maximize your discovery. The landings, the excursions, all will offer the incredible views of this remote landscape, sort of like these pictures you're looking at. And of course, the remarkable wildlife. So that is one thing that we will make sure is never compromised. And they're all led by an experienced team of experts. A lot of the experts have come from some of those renowned expedition companies or research organizations. So they are very highly qualified and highly experienced in operating in these rugged and polar environments. So the flexibility, though, folks, is super important when you are traveling in Antarctica. Why? Because you just can't predict weather. You cannot predict the water. You cannot predict things. So you have to operate along with us in a level of flexibility. But we will do our darndest to make sure that you really do have the time of your life here in Antarctica, and we will make sure that you're not missing a beat. So let's talk a little bit about Antarctica, which is known as the last continent. It is truly such a profound experience for you, and it is a trip of a lifetime. The wildlife in this journey is incredible. It is just absolutely something that you will remember and you will want to talk about from the minute you get home to every conversation you're in. So it's the world's biggest desert, essentially, that has also the world's largest ice sheet, which is nearly 2 miles thick. It's virtually unexplored since the last 150 years. So that's why it's a very much so protected continent. It belongs to no nation. I'm not sure if you knew that, but I always find that to be very interesting. And it is protected by the International Treaty of peaceful, scientific pursuit. The average elevation is 8,200 feet, 30 million cubic kilometers of ice, 90% of fresh water on Earth's surface resides here, and the average temperature in January, which is part of the season, would be around 34 to 36. So the first half of the year is always a great time to go to Antarctica.
Shannon, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
We do have some new people that have joined us. Could you just let them know who you are, what we're doing?
Yeah.
And then they can access the chat window to ask questions, and we'll address them later.
Okay, great.
And you have about 10 or 15 more minutes to talk.
Okay, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Shannon Tiger. Really excited to be here with you all. Hold on, let me actually go back on camera so you can see my face and it's a little bit more personal. I'm super excited to be here to talk to you all about the experience here in our new world of expedition here at Viking. We just had our inaugural launch. Our shakedown cruise, and we are currently right now with our brand new expedition ship sailing in Antarctica. So thank you again, folks, for joining us, and I'm going to continue the presentation. Also, Ted has recorded this, so that'll give you the opportunity, if you'd like, to be able to take a listen to the first half of the presentation. Just ask for that recording. Okay, so this is the actual itinerary. It's a 13-day itinerary. It's called the Antarctic Explorer, and it goes from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia. So basically what would happen is on this itinerary, you will have the opportunity to experience the heart of the Antarctic Peninsula. We've started with 5 cruises this season. Next season, for your immediate travel needs, if you'd like to join us, will be in November of 2022, and we do still have space available for that. And then we'll begin our 3rd season, if you will, in January through March of 2023. So let's talk a little bit about this itinerary. Let's look at it on a map. You'll see here Argentina, and you'll see up here in the northern part of this map, Ushuaia. So at the very tip of South America, it's also often referred to as the end of the earth, is Ushuaia, which is the world's most southernmost city. It is surrounded by sub-Antarctic forests, crystal clear lakes, pristine glaciers, rich peat bogs. It's amazing. And you will arrive here in Ushuaia by private charter, and then you will board your expedition ship, and you will take time to get to know your expedition ship, because at this point we are going to start sailing the Drake Passage. So when you set sail crossing the Drake Passage, after it's named after Sir Francis Drake, just for a quick tidbit of information. The legendary route will actually take you from the tip of South America here, and you will actually then go into the Antarctic convergence, where the sea temperatures plunge to near freezing. And in just a few hours of sailing, you'll start feeling that temperature drop. And it is absolutely beautiful. It is the Southern Ocean. You're going to have a glimpse at your first iceberg here, and you will learn a lot about the historic waterway, the Drake Passage, along the journey. And by having this time going through the Drake Passage, you also will have the opportunity to really get acquainted with the ship, the procedures, all the things you want to know. And it's actually really nice. We also have a spa on board, so you'll have the opportunity to take part of that. And then on day 4 through day 10 of the trip, that's when you'll be really down here in Antarctica and exploring all of Antarctica. The Antarctic itineraries consist, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, a flexible itinerary. We like to call it the captain's choice. This just means that exact locations, landing, shore excursions, all that may vary from day to day, because the ship actually moves depending on weather conditions and wildlife. And then on our way back, we'll head back to Ushuaia, and then you'll have time on board to study Antarctica a little further, also some more lectures, and actually just take a lot of images and kind of reflect back on your journey. We'll also go and cruise the legendary Cape Horn. This is where the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans meet. So it's really quite interesting. A lot of the wildlife that you're going to see, you'll see gentoo penguins, you'll see the Dwelly penguins, you'll see the chin straps, you'll see humpback whales, seals, migratory birds. We have a whole image area on our ship where you can actually see these beautiful knitted birds that are perfect replicas of the birds you're going to see, and they're to life. They're scaled to life, so you can actually take pictures of them, and you'll have a photography lesson before you even go and see these to learn how to take pictures of the wildlife. It's really quite neat. You'll do things like kayaking, which is really neat to go up close and personal and see some of this wildlife. It's done by feet, so you're pedaling your kayak. We'll also do zodiac rides, and you'll go to pristine snow-covered beaches while seals snap in the distance. It's just really a fantastic experience. The humpback whales, the zodiac excursions, all the shore landings truly will give you that opportunity to view and photograph all of this wildlife at sea. It's like really quite interesting and loving. I just can't say enough about it. You can snowshoe, you can do overnight camping in the Arctic if you wanted to for our Arctic itinerary. So let's talk a little bit about the expedition ship. It's really very, again, optimally sized for these expeditions. Small enough to navigate remote areas, yet large enough to provide you the speed and also give you those amenities on board. It is a ship that holds 378 guests, 260 crew. So you can see the guest to crew ratio is fantastic. It is a PC Polar Class 6 ship. It's flagged in Norway. Its home port is Svalbard, if you know that. Maybe you don't. That's up in the Arctic region. And it's really quite interesting. The comfort that we provide is really through the technology and all these dynamic positioning ability that we have, where we basically can hover in place and not have to worry about anchoring, right? Because that's something that's a big no-no in this region. And the stabilizers really help reduce any feeling of rolling. We have a U-tank stabilizer that reduces rolling by over 50%. On board, wait till you see everything that's on board is absolutely, there's nothing to be missed. And I think that's really the true benefit of having a ship that's a little bit larger, because you do have all those amenities on board. This is what we're looking at here is deck one. This is where you would enter when you were coming on board. You can have a little cocktail if you'd like, get to know one another. Some of the neatest parts of the ship, folks, would be the Aula. This is where we have pretty much the world's most advanced venue for learning at sea. It has a stunning panoramic alfresco auditorium. It was inspired by the University of Oslo, and it is, which was actually famed for its ceremonial hall for the Nobel Peace Prize, in case you weren't aware of that. And we use this space for lectures, daily briefings, films, and it is amazing. It has an 8K laser projected panoramic screen, which you're looking at, but take a look at what happens here. The screen actually lifts to the ceiling, as you can see, and all of those shades open up, and you can walk through these doors and get out to the Finsa Terrace, which is where we'll have 2 fire pits, some outdoor seating. But look at those views, those panoramic views that you get from this theater. It is just a wonderful space to take in some of the scenery. In addition, remember I said lots of floor-to-ceiling windows on board our vessel. You'll see the floor-to-ceiling windows here in the Explorer's Lounge. If you've sailed with us on ocean, this should be a familiar space to you. It's obviously a little bit smaller than our ocean ships, but it's 2 decks. And I did see a question in the chat about a planetarium. No planetarium. There's only really one ship that has a planetarium. We actually did away with that, and that is the Orion, just so you know. But we don't have a planetarium, but take a look at how beautiful this space is for just taking in the environment, the beautiful scenery, having a before after dinner drink. It's really epic. And it's, again, 2 levels high. We also have little small nook and crannies where you can just enjoy floor to ceiling windows, some fresh air, take in a book, all done with this beautiful Nordic furnishing. You can see how luxurious that is. And it's just absolutely, a great place just to have some intimacy. Here we have our Aquavit Terrace. So you may see this and have seen this and experienced that on Ocean, where we have our indoor swimming pool with a little condensed smaller size here with the winter garden. It is absolutely a great place for you to get some Irish coffee if you want, to take in a quick dip. Really wonderful. And then if you could see here, you can actually swim underneath this window here and go into the middle pool. Now, each of these 3 pools outside are of 3 different water temperatures, but you do have that pass-through opportunity from indoors to outdoors. So I do believe this part of the ship is incredibly stunning. You can see all the areas. Imagine this in the Great Lakes in the summertime, and just sitting on one of these chaise lounge chairs, incredibly calming. We also have a Nordic spa on board look at the floor to ceiling windows here. This is not like what you find on Ocean in our spa. Here you actually, again, don't miss any opportunity for some of the stunning views that you'll be seeing outside. We do have also a fitness center with treadmills, ellipticals, stationary bikes, weight machines, a sauna. The snow grotto is also featured here, where if you'd want, you can step into our snow grotto. A lot happens here, though, in Expedition Central. This is manned by our expedition team, and it is really key to the onboard experience. The guests actually plan, they book all their excursions here, they verify landings, they verify go-to gate times, and all that information is set up here. There's a tracker, a ship tracker that you can follow. It's really fun and a great spot. Also, there's a part of Expedition Central which has those birds that I was telling you about. Look how beautiful they are. And these are all the birds. They're changed based on the region that you're in. And you actually can take photography lessons right here and learn how to photograph these birds you'll be seeing. And I think the big wow factor, Ted, as we come to a close of the ship here, which is super special, would be the hangar. The hangar is where you can see our submarine in the back, but I want you to notice we have technology that's like no other anywhere, and it is incredibly comfortable, where we bring our ribs and our Zodiacs up into the hull of the ship, and you're able to board them like you would like board a roller coaster ride in Disney. And you have a time that you board them, and then they actually slip out of the ship. Which, let me show you a picture of what that would look like. If I'll show you what it's going to come up in a minute. Now, all of these expedition equipment that we have on board, we have the kayaks that you pedal, we have the Military Pro Zodiacs, 2 6-seater submarines, 2 12-seater convertible ribs. So many different ways that you can go out. And the ribs actually get, they have a roof that come over, very comfortable. My boss said the seats in this equipment is just.
I don't know if you mentioned, Shannon, that that you guys, Viking actually gave me one of these to try out. You see that in the background? So,
yeah.
I use it I use it in my pool in the backyard. It's
Sure you do.
huh? That's why you see that I say in the background. So I'm trying it out. So far, I think it works very well.
Ted, are you the?
Thank you so much.
Ted, are you the pilot on that? You piloted it?
No, I have my wife. My wife does it.
Two pilots.
I have a license.
Oh my God, this is they actually take your weight when you get on board. Don't be alarmed by it, but it's for this equipment so they can balance you.
I can take my weight. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you. You got a few more minutes left before we.
Yep, no problem. We're almost done.
Okay.
We're almost done, and I really want to get to
good job.
So this is the 12-seater convertible ribs. So see how they have the roof too as well. she had mentioned that this was one of the most comfortable experiences. She says, I couldn't believe that I was on expedition and this was actually a very comfortable experience. She goes, you are out in different temperatures, and I'll show you the equipment that you get by coming on board Viking. But she said it was really spectacular. Now take a look at how these equipment exit the ship. They actually are on these rolly wheels, I guess you could say, a pulley system, and they kind of slip out of the ship. Now imagine being on an expedition cruise, folks, and not having to worry about an uncomfortable boarding experience on these vessels. And again, you get to choose which ones you want to go on, how you want to go see some of these regions and the icebergs and the wildlife, and they slip right out of the ship. So I think that's a big wow factor. This is the laboratory that's in the hangar. You can actually go in and take part in research. One of them is smashing penguin feces. I know everybody here online wants to do that. That's something that you'll definitely go to Antarctica for, but it's quite fascinating, believe it or not, to take part in the field research. And that is something that we'll offer you to be able to do and partake in on board Expedition. Our very beautiful staterooms just here in the Nordic balcony stateroom. We don't have any balconies, but we do have what is almost kind of like an inside balcony. Not inside staterooms. Viking has no inside staterooms on any of their vessels, but you can see here it just serves the purpose as if you were just lounging here. And again, beautiful floor to ceiling windows. This is pretty much the bulk of our staterooms. There's nothing impeding your view. You can even be laying here on your bed and just totally taking it all in. It's absolutely fabulous. This is the smallest, which is 222 square feet. Look at the beautiful bathroom, all done with the heated floors and the no fog mirrors. This would be the deluxe Nordic balcony stateroom, quite large, as you can see. The closets is what everybody speaks of, where we have these wonderful warming closets. So you actually hang up your expedition gear and you put it into the closet and get it ready for you for your landings to be nice and warm and cozy. Don't worry, it doesn't last that long, but it still feels really nice. And I want one here while I'm in the cold in New Jersey. This is the Nordic penthouse. So you can see you get a little bit more space here in this inside balcony, if you will, that we've created. 269 square feet. We also have the Nordic Junior Suite, giving you some more space as well, 322 square feet. So nice size staterooms. And then the owner suite, this is just a nice little glimpse of the owner suite. But of course, we have lots of images and amenities and what's included. Ted and his team can help you out with that as well. But can you imagine being out here, Ted and team, sitting out here with this jacuzzi in the owner suite? It's so beautiful. So this is a quick image of the floor to ceiling drying warming closet. That's where your expedition gear will go, and you can always count on Viking for its Scandinavian design to always not miss a beat of where you put something, one of your amenities. We always say, check all your drawers before you leave, because there's so many different nooks and crannies to put stuff. But all your excursion and your gear will go in here. And I'm going to give you the best tip ever, we'll call this a TED tip. So remember that, where you get your own very own Viking Expedition jacket to keep. Now, always order a size or two up. They run really, really small. They're Helly Hansen. Helly Hansen tends to run small. I actually have a Helly Hansen Viking fleece on right here. So always order a size up. Now, if you order wrong, don't worry, there's plenty on board that we can resize and fit you in, but that is my TED tip of the day. To order up in size.
Shannon, was there any questions you wanted to take up here? I don't know if you can see them still.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's look at these chats.
Guys, if you have a question, go into the chat.
Yes, because this is really your gear. I'll leave this slide up so you can look at some of the gear.
There's a question about the sub not working. Did you already address that? What's that about?
No, this well, let me get to that page. Well, that question, because there's quite some here. The subs are working. The first on the shakedown, we had basically the issue sometimes is the weather and the clarity of what things are like when you're going below water. So not everybody wants to go on the sub, but also if you're signed up for the sub, sometimes you can't go on the sub because the conditions aren't right. So we do our best to try to accommodate that. But no,
that makes sense. Okay, so they're working, but they can't always go out.
Exactly. And then
Viking Journey is locked out. That's a separate question, but
no planetarium on board, and also
rest of the season.
Oh yeah, so the difficulty of level of various excursions. So hopefully I answered that, but I'm glad that we're addressing that again. So remember, we have this amazing technology that you are able to literally log in what you want to do. So, and we'll create your experience wrapped around your activity level. So if you don't want to go on the kayaks, if you don't want to go on the Zodiacs, we will put you in different level activities that aren't as challenging, if you will, and also put you with a group of folks that are in that same level as you. So it's nice because you get to go along the journey with other people that are wanting to experience it the same way you are. So hopefully that's coming across, but it, I think, really helps make this journey incredibly special. Let's see, we all. For all Viking tours, and is there an elevator on board? You know what? Yes, there is an elevator. And I do believe it goes to all decks, like not like our river ship, the arranging in pods of difficulty levels. So yes, exactly. So basically our pods, you'll be named like a Gen 2 penguin pod or group, and you kind of go through the journey together, and it is based on the level of experience you want, the difficulty of that activity. So
I think you've taken care of most of the questions.
When will the, so that's a great question, Barbara, about the Arctic. So right now we have Arctic in 2022 in November. And what we're seeing is we may not be doing the Arctic in 2023. We're not sure yet. We're working through all of that. We're testing a lot of different stuff to see. So we don't have 2023 release yet. So it's not to say it's not happening, but we're kind of waiting for word on that. That's why you don't see any inventory on that. And you'll notice in 2023, for sure, the Polaris, which is the ship doing the Arctic, will be doing Antarctica with us, doing the Great Lakes. So we're really kind of waiting to see where the Polaris is going to go, if she's going back to the Arctic in the fall/winter of 2023 or not. So great. So do we have any other questions? I do want to tell you that we do have some special promotions. I'm going to give Ted all that information for the expedition program. We also have double pass passenger rewards right now, and we have a 2-for-1 deposit. So instead of depositing 1,000, it's 500. So that's great. Let me stop screen sharing here. You've all seen enough of that gear there. Great. So let's see. Sorry, folks. I just got to get onto this other monitor. Okay, great. So I think I stopped sharing here now. Great. So anyway, Ted, do you have any questions or concerns or anything that you'd like to address at the end of the presentation?
I don't particularly know right now. I don't have any, no.
Okay, I hope you all found it really informative. The ship is gorgeous. The destination.
You did a great job.
Great, perfect. We do have those great promotions going on right now, so Ted can fill you in on all that. And we do have inventory for 2022 and 2023. So if you're interested, by all means, take a look at it, and we'll get back to you with any questions. Ted can always reach any of us here at Viking to answer specific questions. Viking, for anybody online here, we don't sail with children, and that tends to be one of the best things that people love about Viking is no children on board. You have to be 18 or older. Sorry, I had to share the fun fact. I saw the world.
What about slides? Don't they have those slides like they have on Carnival? You don't have those? No. Okay. All right. Added benefits. Thanks a lot, Shannon, for that. Travel agents are a plus. There's every advantage to using a travel professional. We gain insight, enjoy exclusive privileges, and save time. So, there's a lot we can talk about. And I know many of you may be even travel agents yourself. So, I'm probably preaching to the choir, or you already have a travel agent. So if you have one, that's a blessing. Keep working with your travel agent. We're not here to take anybody's business away. And if you love booking direct with Viking, that's okay too. You should know that, there might be something you're missing out. So, we do ask that you consider working with myself or Roxanne or Mary Pat as they have introduced themselves. So we talk about cabin credits. Sorry, I said cabin twice, but receive cabin credits. We add up to 1,000 per couple and extra credits on new and existing travel bookings. What does that mean? So how do we do this? So we're part of an overall consortia of travel, which is called Signature Travel. Okay, there's Signature Travel, there's Virtuoso, they're huge, and they have thousands of agents that work together. And as a collective, because we bring so much business to Viking, we help promote them and help promote the different cruise line. They pay us a little bit to service your reservation and pay us to bring them business, right, Shannon?
It's absolutely the truth. And this is where that difference comes in from booking. Well, I think the true difference from booking direct versus booking with an advisor is pure just having that service, having somebody walk you through. You don't have to worry about waiting on phone lines because Ted and his team are going to walk you through all the pre-cruise requirements. They're going to service you while you're on board if you need them. That is the true value add to working with an advisor. But because of Ted's connection with his consortia Signature, which is one of the best, he really does get to leverage these additional savings that simply aren't there by booking direct.
And one of the things that's so good about Viking is because every aspect of their operation is so professional. Agents that answer the phone when you call to book direct, they're really good. So I think one of the most difficult things is, people don't want to let them down or whatever. They're not going to lose anything. Viking appreciates the travel agent. So don't feel like, you're doing a disfavor to Viking. It's a great opportunity for you to, get all that you should with your reservation.
We encourage working with an advisor too. We actually have a 60-day takeover. So if somebody did book direct and you attended this presentation and you booked within the last 60 days, Ted can take that booking and his team can take that booking over and service you. That's just another way while we encourage it, because we do believe in our travel agent community. They actually are our extended sales force, and we can't appreciate that relationship any more than we do already. So sorry,
that's correct. So if you book within 60 days, you could call me or Roxanne or Mary Pat. You can give us your booking number, and then we'll verify with Viking, and we can actually help you. So there's different rules of engagement, but again, reach out to us and find out what we can do. Here's a slide that shows extra credit. This is it's called Signature Collection. So on this, you have a $500 shipboard credit per stateroom. So this is offered by my Signature Travel Consortia, and we may add a little bit more from the money they pay us to service your reservation. So, like I said, there's every advantage to work with this, and all this information, of course, you can find out on our website directly, and I'll talk about that in just a minute.
Also, Ted, I saw something come through from chat, and I know everybody can see.
Yeah, go ahead, take that up.
So I just wanted to make everybody aware of what happened before our first sailing to Antarctica, which is why we weren't able to be transparent. The country right now traveling during the pandemic is certainly challenging in the fact that we really don't know what can happen up until it happens. And Ted, I hope you can back me on this. I mean, it is a really wait and see kind of game. So I did see a lot of blogs and stuff, and it wasn't about the fact that Viking wasn't transparent. We had an issue with Buenos Aires, and it's so a lot of folks were frustrated because they couldn't get the answers. But the reason why they couldn't get the answers is because we were trying desperately to find a private charter to take us from Miami to Ushuaia. And I personally dealt with a lot of inquiries from my advisors based on what they were hearing and dealing with their customers. And I do apologize you didn't have a pleasurable experience. I don't know how you booked, if you booked through Ted or someone else, but certainly bring that to our guest services and customer relations. I do want you to know that is not traditionally how we handle things. It wasn't necessarily about not being ready. It was what happened in Buenos Aires with the country completely changing its rules.
All right, thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome.
The next slide shows our website. It's called cruisinwithed.com, everything in one place. So all the information pertaining to your travel is right here. We have travel guides, hotels, pricing, and availability. It's all here. And this is all live pricing, all live promotions that we offer. So you might want to write that down, cruisinwithed.com, and you'll see that it doesn't show everything here, but it covers cruises, flights, vacation, hotels. We cover luxury hotels, and we have just a regular hotel place to go, specialty types of cruises, destination information, travel information. I have a blog, not that I've worked on it so much lately because we've been so busy with everything going on. We're basically rebooking and booking and rebooking and booking, rebooking, and that's starting to level out, right, Shannon? I think with the pandemic pulling off. Huh?
For sure, absolutely.
It's there's quite a lot to do right now.
We're very excited about March 1st. That's a big date for us to feel like we can maybe start officially moving on.
Okay, great. And these are this shows a lot of the different cruise lines that we represent. We can handle everything from Avalon to Viking, Celebrity, Carnival, Riviera, Sea Dream. We mainly do small ship, ocean, and river cruises and expedition. That's really our concentration because that's quite a lot to deal with. Not that if you wanted to book Carnival or even Celebrity, we'd turn you away, but honestly, a lot of the information and a lot of the research that we've done has to do with that. So we're kind of specialists in that. All right. So that shows you that. And this is something that we're all experts on. And this is, people say, well, why should I work with you? So I'm going to give you an example. This doesn't have to do with expedition, but let's say that you are going on a river cruise, particularly let's say on the Douro River for Rivers of Gold. A lot of you might be familiar with that. So if you, this is a blog that I wrote, just a snapshot from it. Did you know that you can get up to $2,000 per person discount on business class air if you move up from a regular, like a regular room, like a balcony, to a suite? And the price of the balcony to the suite on these particular because the ships are so small, it's not that much more. So if you do that, instead of paying, $8,498 for your business class air, it could be half that, or even a lot less. This is a promotion that Viking always has. Every time you call, they're not gonna. There's dozens of promotions at any one time, and they're not going to tell you about the promotion for this. Or the other day, just yesterday, I had a guest call me that wanted to book France. Now, right now, there's a special promotion where you get free air on France, but you have to know the code. So how many people are going to know the code? I have every code because I get all this information from Shannon and her colleagues of okay, here's the code for this, here's the code for that. So the Viking rep is not obligated and will not have to tell you that there's a special for that, but only somebody who does this all the time, like me, Roxanne, and Mary Pat, would know this. you know, we're talking about thousands of dollars saved that's available, but you don't know it. Does that make sense, Shannon?
Makes total sense to me, Ted.
It's not like they're withholding anything. It's just they're trying to make a sale. So, you know, there's no, and none of the cruise lines are going to say, oh, well, we actually have this sale and it's going to save you $5,000. I mean, it's not up to them to do that. So that's something that, you know, you should be aware of. So when you call us and we can do up to business class air, who wouldn't want that if they just pay a couple $100 more for a suite?
Exactly.
All right. And just give me a second here. All right, and on our website, this isn't quite show it properly, but you can actually book hotels. So you're going to find hotel information with amenities listed. It's going to have all the information on it. So, you know, you can actually find hotels and pricing. And we also give extra credits for luxury hotels as signature travel, extra things like you can get free meals, free upgrades, and things like that. And again, everything's on our travel website. And we have destination guides. Let's say if you're going to Amsterdam, okay? So everything you want to know about Amsterdam is going to be right here. It's going to have introduction, sightseeing, maps, all the information. We have thousands of destination guides. They're right on our website. All you have to do is go to cruisinwithed.com, and then you click destinations, and you go on, it'll say world destination. In alphabetical order are thousands and thousands and thousands of destination guides. All you have to do is click on them, put your email in, and you'll have access to all of our destination guides from here on out. Again, that's all on my website. Okay. This is my Facebook page. It's called Cruisin with Ted. We have thousands of followers on Facebook. Every day we try to post cruise deals, tips, information. So go to the Facebook page and like Cruisin with Ted. This is a Viking Facebook group. Many of you may know us from that. We have over 7,000 members in our Viking Facebook group right now. And again, it's a great place to chat. All you have to do is put in Viking and find us and join our group. We have another group for Viking World Cruise Explorers. So if you're interested in world cruises, we are posting 3 separate blogs from the Viking World Cruise right now. Okay, every day there's information from guests that are on that cruise right now, and we're catching up a bit because we started from the beginning. We started late. There's tons of information about world cruises on there. So if you're interested in that, please join that group. Okay, we have people joining us late, but that's okay. We're near the tail end here, guys.
But it's recorded.
Hopefully I'm recording it, guys. We'll have to. And this is from my Facebook page. We have recommendation reviews. We have a 5 out of 5 rating on our Facebook page. Here's a post that Ted took over our Viking Ocean Cruise booking for us. He got us extra onboard credits. He has been in constant contact with us to assure we have the latest updates on all legs of our trip. He has an app where all the travel documents, itinerary, excursion guides for each port we'll be visiting. We have used travel agents in the past, and Ted has gone above and beyond any of them. I highly recommend using him for any of our travels. You can go on there right now and read some of these rave reviews about our services. Travel insurance. Again, Viking does offer travel insurance, but it's not Viking. It's just it's a third party. So you know, nothing wrong with Viking insurance, but we do feel that we can offer you some different options. We are experts on this. If we don't know, we'll get the answers for you. Again, reach out to us. Even if you didn't book with us, you can still reach out to us for travel insurance. Okay. And okay, and then I mentioned that this lady in the review there mentioned our travel app. What's a travel app? Well, if you look right there, they're looking at their phone there, and on their phone are travel guides. Remember I mentioned the travel guides for Amsterdam? Well, we're going to provide you with a full travel guide on your phone for every destination you're going to. It's going to have all your travel docs. It's going to have your insurance. It's going to have your flight information, your seat number. It's going to have live information about your flight. If there's changes, it will update. You can chat without the internet to me or anyone else that has this app. You can chat to each other. And you can, if you want to talk to me or somebody else, you can use that chat window. And here it shows a little bit of their itinerary there. And this shows day to day what's happening, what excursion it is, what time it is, links. If you're in a hotel, it has the phone number, it has the website, it has the email address for people in your hotel. So you're never stuck in the ocean wondering, what is it, shrimp on ice? for your 5th day. Okay, so at your service, our travel experts are standing by. Contact us today for expert advice and extra perks. So it's Cruisin with Ted, 954-290-8626. And our ladies also have their own phone numbers. So whether you talk to me or if I refer them to you, we're all here to help you. Hello at cruisinwithted.com. And our gals all have their own email, like Roxanne is roxanne@cruisinwithted.com. And Mary Pat is marypat@cruisinwithted.com. And that's our website, cruisinwithted.com. Okay, so listen, you probably have a ton more questions. We are going to have I should have posted it, but we have a Viking Mississippi Zoom coming up. We have a Viking Great Lakes coming up, and then we'll circle back and probably do some river and some ocean. Shannon, isn't this a better way to do it than trying to cover it all in one shot?
I think it's a brilliant way to do it. A brilliant. And I hope you all join us for the Mississippi presentation because it's spectacular, and we're taking delivery a little early on her, so we probably still have some 2022 space open. So very
again, Shannon, I like this. I really like to thank you for sharing your time with us today. Viking is amazing. I don't know what to say. I would not be here today if it wasn't for Viking, because that's 99% of what I sold for the last few years has been Viking. Now I'm starting to branch out a little bit, but because they cover so much, there's no reason to go anywhere else. You got Mississippi, you got there's nothing, right, that you don't do. So here's our phone number to contact Ted, 954-290-8626. Hello at cruisinwithted.com, cruisinwithted.com. And you guys, viewers, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, everyone.
Ted thanks you for watching and asks you to subscribe to Cruisin with Ted on Facebook and YouTube.